Hello everyone. So this is the summary of the poem Porphyria's Lover by Robert Browning. So these are the important points. This poem is a dramatic monologue published in 1836 under the title Porphyria in Monthly Repository magazine. In this poem, the unnamed narrator tells all the details about how he strangles his beloved with her own hair. This poem was later published in the collection Dramatic Lyrics in 1842. The main themes of the poem are love, violence, and control. Here, the lover wants to control the woman who is above his status by killing her. The lover commits this act because he fears that his beloved would surrender to the societal pressures and then she would part her ways from him. So, this is the text of the poem. The rain set early into night, the sullen wind was soon awake. It tore the elm tops down for spite and did its worst to vex the lake. I listened with heart fit to break when glided in Porphyria straight. She shut the cold out and the storm, and kneeled and made the cheerless grate blaze up and all the cottage warm. So when the poem opens, we see that the speaker is sitting in his cottage and a heavy storm is raging outside. It starts raining early in night and the wind is also blowing with full intensity and also breaks the tops of elm trees and disturbs the water of the lake too with its fury and intensity. It seems as if the wind is in violent mood. At this moment, the speaker is in melancholic mood. At the same time, his beloved Porphyria enters his cottage. After her entry, she closes the door and the window to shut out the cold and the stormy wind. Then she kneels down and lightens the fire in the fireplace, and the entire cottage gets warm. Which done she rose and from her form withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl, and laid her soiled gloves by, untied her hat, and let the damp hair fall. And last she sat down by my side and called me. When no voice replied, she put my arm about her waist and made her smooth white shoulder bare, and all her yellow hair displaced. So in these lines, speaker says that his beloved removes her cloak, hat, and shawl and puts down her dirty gloves. Then she sits by the side of her lover and addresses him lovingly. Her golden long hair falls on her shoulders and looks so beautiful. When she doesn't get any reply from her lover, then she puts his arm around her waist. Then she makes her smooth white shoulder bare so that her lover can place his cheeks on it. And stooping made my cheek lie there and spread over all her yellow hair, murmuring how she loved me, she too weak for all her heart's endeavour to set its struggling passion free from pride and vainer ties dissever and give herself to me forever. But passion sometimes would prevail, nor could tonight's gay feast restrain a sudden thought of one so pale. So in these lines, speaker says that his beloved spreads her long golden hair all over her shoulders and then she speaks in a soft voice to her lover. She tells him that she loves him passionately, but she is helpless in overcoming the barriers of social customs, her high social status, and the authority of her parents. So, all of these factors stop her from completely surrendering herself to her lover. But she longs for his love. That's why she has managed to come to meet him in such a stormy night and also when a feast is going on at her place. So that could not stop her to come to meet her lover. For love of her and all in vain, so she was come through wind and rain. Be sure I looked up at her eyes, happy and proud. At last I knew. Porphyria worshipped me. Surprise made my heart swell, and still it grew, while I debated what to do. That moment she was mine, mine fair, perfectly pure and good. I found a thing to do, and all her hair in one long yellow string I wound. So, in these lines, speaker says that he looks into Porphyria's eyes with pride and joy, and he notices that Porphyria's loves him completely. Then he becomes happy and proud to notice Porphyria's sincere love for him, and he starts thinking what can he do next to make her completely his own. She looks pretty, perfect, and pure to him at that time, and then he decides to kill her so that he can make her his own for forever. He thinks that this is the only way by which he can release her from social barriers. 3 times her little throat around and strangled her. No pain felt she. I am quite sure she felt no pain. As a shut bird that holds a bee, I wearily oped her lids again, laughed the blue eyes without a stain, and I untightened next the tress about her neck. Her cheek once more blushed bright beneath my burning kiss. I probed her head up as before, only this time my shoulder bore. So in these lines, speaker says that he gathers her hair into a rope and twists it 3 times around her neck and strangles her. So he kills her. Next, he says that he is sure that his beloved didn't feel any pain, and she remains quiet as a bee locked up in a bud. After that, the lover opens up the eyelids of Porphyria and finds her blue eyes looking happy and perfect without any stain. Then he loosens the hair from her neck. Then he finds her cheeks blushing when he kisses them passionately. He lifts her head and rests it on his shoulder. Her head, which droops upon it still, the smiling, rosy little head, so glad it has its utmost will, that all it scorned at once is fled, and I, its love, am gained instead. Porphyria's love, she guessed not how, her darling one wish would be heard. And thus we sit together now, and all night long we have not stirred, and yet God has not said a word. So in these lines, speaker says that he doesn't regret of killing his beloved. He still finds her pink face smiling. He thinks that he has done justice to his beloved by freeing her from all social obligations and by making her completely his own. He thinks that he has fulfilled her wish of dying in the lap of her lover and to be his for forever. The speaker keeps sitting with his beloved throughout the night without moving a little. So, in the final line, he says that even God doesn't give his disapproval of the lover's act of murder. By doing so, he justifies his killing of his beloved on the name of love. And here the poem ends.